All right, guys, we have an emergency meeting. What's going on? Is everything okay? No, it's terrible. Somebody's been eating all the snacks in the food pantry. Whoa, what? Yeah, I looked in today and we're running low on snacks, and that means I gotta keep buying more. We know you probably did it, Murdoch, Freed. What? We did it? No. Yeah, it wasn't us. We're men. Manly men. Please, Murdoch's about as manly as the British baking show. Hey, I like that show. Or it could be Tyrone. Yeah, he's the new member of our crew. He's looking awfully suspicious right now. Whoa. What, why are you guys blaming me? Yeah, it probably wasn't Tyrone. He's not that much of a sweets guy. A good cover-up story. A cover-up story? What I gotta cover up for? I didn't take any snacks. I've been doing the reviews all this time. Yeah, whatever. You're doing the reviews. You mean these low-quality reviews that we've been getting recently? God, I knew we should have hired that Lumiose trainer. Oh, come on! Whatever. We gotta go into town in order to get new snacks anyway. So let's just go ahead and do it. But the next time somebody takes some snacks, it's going to be hell to pay. No, hello everybody, Tyrone TG3 here. Pokemon Horizons, episode 8. The secret door that can't be opened. Oh my goodness. This episode, you know what? Kudos. I think this episode was really good. Like, honestly, I really enjoyed this episode, which is definitely odd. If you know me, you know which episodes I tend to really enjoy when it comes to Pokemon is like the action, battle-heavy, battle-based episodes. But honestly, as far as non-battle episodes, this episode's perfect. And there is a battle technically in there. It's Suicune versus Spearow. But that, like, overall, I think this episode was really well done for world building. Honestly, this episode actually tackled a lot of the things that I wanted to happen in this series anyway, once this team finally got formed. So it's good to see it after 8 episodes. It's good to see it lift up off the ground and deliver. Episode 8 is good. Like, really good. So in episode 8, just as a quick rundown, and if you haven't seen the skit already, it kind of covered a little bit of it. I love that in the beginning, excuse the ambulance, I love that at the beginning, Freed and Murdoch actually have like this little sneaking session where it's like, make sure nobody's looking. And then and I saw Roy, but I didn't think they would catch Roy. They actually went in, and when Freed sees Roy like right through the window, he's like, you should be in bed. And Roy's like, all right. And I don't know, something about that was funny as hell. I love that. That was cool. I like that. And then they finally start getting the snacks together and trying to see it. It's great. I love it. I love seeing that be done. I love that they did the online classes. They're actually, like, you can see them doing it. It doesn't even take long. It's like a few seconds, but I love it. I am loving that they are doing every aspect and not forgetting. They didn't have to do that. We could have just taken their word for it that they're doing online classes. I like that Liko's doing her online classes. And we see Anne again. We see her right before the online classes. And they're talking about how Nidothings is about to do a live stream. Also, this answers a lot of questions. We know now that Nidothings doesn't do live streams all the time. She mostly does YouTube videos, then does live streams. So everything we've been watching has been YouTube videos, which, to be fair, there was no real way of telling which was which. I guess because the way they're played like they're already on there, and they're mostly played to the audience. So we assume that either A, she did a live stream and Liko just happened to watch it, or B, it was an already pre-recorded YouTube video that she just now uploaded. Either way, we have a definite answer now as to what that is. Nidothing mostly does YouTube videos. She live streams on occasion. And I like that. I like that we know that. We kind of get the reveal of who Dot is, which that's the character that, by the way, I kept a secret because I was hoping the series would keep her a bit long. Now, let's go ahead and tackle Dot for a second. I like what they did with Dot, but I am mixed on it. So on the plus side, I like the fact that we got more pressing on that character. I love the fact that they actually tackled that. I love the fact that they came to it immediately and did the story and further elaborated on the Dot plot. So in a sense, she technically got 2 episodes. The last one and this one, kinda. We got a face reveal already in this episode of who she is, what she looks like. Honestly, but the downside, I wouldn't say there's a big downside, but this is something that raised my eyebrow a bit for this series specifically. I thought they would take a bit longer to show us who Dot is. Now, granted, Liko and Roy don't see Dot. Neither does any of the crew. I think Murdoch's the only one who actually really knows who Dot probably looks like. Dot is obviously introverted and doesn't want to make friends. But slowly but surely, you can see Liko's trying her hardest to befriend Dot. And obviously, the reveal is going to be great for when she finally does come out of her room and, interacts with the others. At least to a small degree. I think the problem is this episode happened right after we learned who Dot was. So even though Liko and the others don't get a face reveal, it feels weird that we got one. I kind of wanted to share that moment with Liko because this is a new series of Pokemon and every moment that we share with Liko is a new moment for us as well. Everything's new to both of us, the character and the audience. So I kind of wanted Liko's reveal to be one and the same and synergetic. That's what I meant to say. Synergetic with Liko. I wanted her experiences to be our experiences. So when Dot finally did come out and give the face reveal, it would be a shock not just to Liko, but to the audience as well. Now, granted, I like what they do with Dot. The plot being is that she does like sweets. And the only time she'll ever come out of there is to actually eat the sweets. Although she hasn't had any sweets that she likes. Hence why she hasn't eaten any sweets that have been in that pantry for a while. It's not until Murdoch winds up making new ingredients with the sweets that she winds up finally eating them. Which they tackle in the episode as well because the girls, Orla and Molly and Liko by default, end up calling Murdoch and Freed out on sneaking snacks, but they deny it. So now that this mystery is going about, they go to restock on food anyway. So they're going into town in order to do it. One thing I really like about this episode too, I love Liko's mischievousness in this episode. I'm glad they didn't make her off to be this super polite, can't do anything wrong character where she just constantly an immediate sweetheart. No, I like that they have the rock, paper, scissors battle to see who stays on the ship to watch everything over and do the chores. And Roy loses, so he has to stay behind. So he asks to switch with Liko. And Liko pretends like she didn't want to do it, but in actuality she did, so she goes ahead and does the switch anyway. And the reason she does that is because she wanted to watch the live stream anyway. And I love that. She kind of underhanded that situation. She's like, I really didn't want to go. I didn't want to stay behind on the ship. But Roy, if you really want to, then I guess. I love that. She's like, the truth is, I really did want to stay on the ship so I could watch the live stream. I love that. That's great. It shows that even Liko is not immune to flaws and mess ups. But she's doing that mischievously. She's doing it on purpose. She even comments on how mischievous it kind of is. So you can definitely tell she's a little out of her comfort zone lying. But she's doing it. And I love that. It brings dimension to her character. She's not just flatly polite and nice. I also love that when Roy's like, yo, Murdoch and Freed were sneaking stuff in the pantry. There's probably sweets in there. And Liko takes that time to open up the thing and gets splattered with a bunch of sweets. And she's just like, what the heck was that? Never mind, I'm done with this sneaky stuff. I love that. I love that she did all of that. She devised all of that nonsense and snuck behind everybody's back. And when Murdoch calls, he's just like, yo, what's wrong? Nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing's wrong. I love that. That's great. She's like, ugh, I gotta stop lying. I love that. That's great. Meanwhile, in the city, we see this is mostly a Roy and Freed episode at this point with the plot B. I love it. They basically do the Magikarp salesman joke. It's just with Roy and Freed, and I love it. This guy is like selling Polisher and like all this other junk and nonsense, and Freed's like, Molly said we can't buy nonsense. And then the guy's like, I might know a little something about the Black Rayquaza. And he's just like, what, you do? All right, I'll take it. I love that happens. And they make sure that it's not just that joke. We see that Fuecoco ends up fighting off against Spearow to give Roy and Fuecoco a little bit more experience too. I love that because technically they're behind when it comes to battling. So this gives them a chance to level up. The slow burn progression makes the world feel like it's constantly turning. I love this. We can see that Murdoch already made lunch for Ludlow, Liko, and Dot. I like that. I like that during the live stream, you can hear that Liko's freaking out because her question just got answered. But because Nidothing is Dot, you can hear it kind of in the background. You can also see that Liko's the reason why Dot's live stream is late. So she hasn't put 2 and 2 together yet, which is still very questionable considering the music and the sound effects should be heard within the airship unless it's super airtight. But it is funny to notice. I love it. I love that both instances are slowly connecting, but they haven't quite met yet. And I just love it. I love Liko's freak out to her question being called on. And I love her username. I believe it's like Spriggs Lover 90. It's something generically like funny. But yeah, I love that. I love that it's very clear she made that recently her username because she didn't get Sprigatito until the beginning of the series. So that means she just got I guess YouTube or a Twitch account, whatever. She just got an online account. It's new. It has to be because she didn't have Sprigatito at first, unless she liked Sprigatito from the get-go and chose it later as her starter. The point being, she has a username, and I never thought I would see a main character in a Pokemon series have a username for an online service. I don't know. It's weird to think about. I guess technically Serena would have had one because she did the PR videos. So I guess, and she was streaming there. What would you count that? Is that a live stream? Is that a TikTok? What is that? I guess it would be like TikTok in this situation. But so we never heard what the username was. So I like that. I like that when Roy and Liko come back and try to talk to Dot again. Dot's basically telling them to screw off. They get the Polisher and they clean their items. And that's cool because Dot says she's looking for very cool and rare, unusual treasures. So they technically have those treasures, but obviously Dot wouldn't know because she's not going to come out of the room. And then obviously they get a little bit closer. Episode all around was great. I love the interactions. I love the character interactions. I love the meeting. I love how the characters approach different problems. I love how the characters interact with each other. I love Roy and Freed's subplot only because Roy and Freed technically didn't have a lot of time together. They had a couple of episodes towards Roy's beginning few episodes before he joined the Rising Voltacklers. But now they're kind of, it feels like they're filling up the gap because of that. He's got a little bit more experience with them now, and it definitely feels like they're balancing Liko and Roy out now, and I like that. And I'm glad they're not stuck together. Oh, God. I was so afraid when I saw, promotional posters and things like that. I was afraid the two were going to be stuck together the whole way through, and that was going to worry me. I'm glad they took the time to separate them, divvy them up, and put them into little sections. And that whole interaction with the entire crew members on the ship, and Freed and Murdoch lying and trying to cover up and the backhandedness of it all, and then Dot being in there eating the snacks finally and acknowledging the crew a little bit more. I love the Quaxley being her little conscience. I liked all of it. All of it was great. Honestly, I think this was a really solid character interaction episode, and I really hope that we get a lot more of these character interaction episodes. This is definitely the development the Rising Voltacklers need. At the end of the episode, we actually get a large amount of progress, too. Captain Pikachu spots that they're finally in Paldea, which would start episode 9, which is going to be titled Arrival in Paldea. If I have to give this episode a score, I'm definitely giving it I'm giving it a 9.5 probably. Honestly, the dot thing is a little back and forth, only because, again, I wanted to share that face reveal with Liko, so that kind of hurt it. But everything else is pretty much solid at this point. Like, it's very solid. Very solid episode. I like what I saw. I like what I heard. I like what I engaged in. Really solid 9.5 out of 10. I think it's a really good episode. But with that being said, I will see you all then, everybody. Tyrone TG3 out. If you want to know where most of my time is spent, head on over to my Twitch channel to watch me stream games on Tuesdays through Thursdays, as well as Saturdays and Sundays. Also, be on the lookout on the PokePod, a podcast stream on my friend TG3's channel, as we discuss the latest Pokemon anime episodes, as well as anime, manga, video games, and other fun topics. That's it. Go do those other things. This video's over.